Okay, guys, it's my great pleasure to introduce you, Sweet Tea. Thank you. If you could unmute, please comment in. And thank you for sharing your Saturday afternoon with us. Appreciate it.
You told me? I thought you were
Fine.
reading something. So through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact, that 2 minutes, I needed that 2 minutes, man. You know, that was like money. That was that 2 minutes. Sometimes that's all you need just to settle. My name is Sweet Tea and I'm an alcoholic, sober by the grace of God and the fellowship of this amazing program that we call Alcoholics Anonymous. I know this is Cocaine Anonymous. So I got to tell y'all this story, right? I got to tell y'all this story. So I got sober in LA and I belong to a big book study called Never Too Early. When they say more shall be revealed, first and foremost, if you're new and you're here, welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous. Welcome to any Anonymous, whatever you relate to. This is the best lost and found ever. This is where you find yourself. This is where you could keep still for 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? This is where you fall in love with yourself. This is where you forgive yourself. This is where you figure out who you are, but you got to keep still. This is where you get new eyes. This is where you get new ears. This is where you learn how to take suggestions because you don't know Jack. Let me get that out the way. So I got sober in Los Angeles, and when I came back to the East Coast, I went to LA every year on my anniversary to celebrate, right? And when I would go back, I would go for like a week or so because I got family there. Nobody by blood. Everybody that's my family there, I know through the program. All I got to do is get a ticket and I'm there. So when I go to LA, I speak here, I speak there. And when I was new, maybe 3 or 4 years in, one of my buddies called and said, I want you to speak at my Cocaine Anonymous meeting. I'm like, I'm not a cocaine addict. What do you mean? I didn't do coke. I can't do that. And it really had me like, I had to call my sponsor. I was like, what? I can't do that. Check this out. A drug is a drug is a drug. A drug is a drug is a drug. Anything that takes you out of your normal way of thinking, your normal way of acting, any mind altering substances, whether it's cocaine, whether it's alcohol, whether it's gambling, whether it's overeaters, whether it's marijuana, sex. We got a book for you. And it's the same freaking book. It's the same book. So I grew up in this little place called New York City, right? And Queens, New York. My dad was a retired from the military. And my mom, a retired school teacher. I'm an army brat. I spoke German before I could speak English. We grew up in Queens like the frickin' Huxtables, I'm the oldest of three girls. We couldn't go to Manhattan unless we were going with my dad. He had us on lock, straight up lock. However, he took us to Broadway plays, symphonies. I played the viola. I was in dance school. I was a brownie. I was a Girl Scout. Love handball. I played handball. Y'all New Yorkers know about that handball, right? Yes. I had my hand in everything. And I found out as I became a mother that when you keep the child busy, prayerfully, they don't go astray. prayerfully, none of his girls got pregnant at an early age. I am in the state of Maryland. I left Queens when I was like 18. See, because my dad took me, my mom and dad would bring me down to Maryland once a year to this place, right? And this place had people that looked like me. You know, they had marching bands. They were so excited and seeing each other. And it was Morgan State University homecoming. That's a college. That's a HBCU here in Maryland. And every year my dad would take us. I just fell in love with this place more and more. So I didn't drink as a child. I didn't drink as a teenager. I didn't, as Ralph White says, I didn't have that thing. I didn't get that thing, you know. The gene was always there. I know now. I don't know where the hell it came from though, but I didn't have it. I always say it, and I'm an acknowledged alcoholic today because I was the last to know. I didn't know I was an alcoholic. I didn't even know what an alcoholic looked like. Look, my mom and dad always had parties in the house. Always. The police never came to the door. Nobody ever got let out in handcuffs. My sisters and I never had to step over anybody laying out. There were never any ashtrays. You know, when they had a party, we would wake up in the morning and it looked like wasn't nobody ever there. That's how we were rolling in Jamaica, Queens, at the Abney residence. I used to always say, you know, I knew what a bum on the street of 42nd Street looked like, but I never thought, but I never saw a woman. But now that I know me, I know she was out there. Oh, she was out there. Alcohol, cunning, baffling, and powerful. So I graduated from high school, right, in Queens, and I went to that school. That's the only one I applied to. I'm in Baltimore. My dad is a Vietnam vet. He said this, I'll never forget, with that big caddy he had, big old caddy. He dropped me off, him and my mom. I couldn't wait for them to drive. When they went that way, I went that way. Yes, I'm free. Oh my God, I don't have to ask anything. Even at 18 years old, well, I got to college, I was 17. Even then, I had such respect. I'm a daddy's girl, man. My mom always took the blunt, but my dad, I was not doing any wrong, you know, in his eyes. I know how to shine shoes. I love basketball. I love baseball. I love boxing back in the day. He used to go to the Apollo. I would sit by the door and wait for him to come home. So I wasn't doing no wrong. So when he said, you got 4 years to do this or you're on your own. Now, I get to Morgan. They have a club on campus. They have a DJ. They serve pizza 10 in the morning to 2 in the morning. And they also serve beer and alcohol. But I never got stuck. See, don't forget, I'm still daddy's girl. I'm not saying I didn't dip and dab. I had some fun dipping dabbings, but I never, alcohol didn't choke the hell out of me yet. I didn't get that thing yet. It ain't come yet. So I graduated in 4 years. I graduated with honors, right? I went back to New York City. I took this man from Harlem, you know, he's upstairs right now. I had him for 39 years. I still got him hostage. We had 4 children born in New York. We have 4 children because New York is too expensive. Y'all know how expensive New York is. Hell. So we got to get up out of here. So we came to Baltimore. We had 2 more children. My last child was born in 2000. I had 4 children, boy, girl, boy, girl. Something happened in 2000. And I think you know, now in hindsight that I'm looking back, I think I got tired. I think I got real complacent, and everything was routine. You know, you get the kids ready, you make the lunch, you go to work, you come home, you cook dinner, you check homework. And then that's when I found that if I had a drink of like wine or something, my mind would ease up a little bit, you know, things would go a little bit smoother. It wouldn't be like a freaking rat race. And I couldn't understand why, you know, God gave me 4 children. The heck? Who does that? What am I doing with 4 kids? What is going on here? So I got this job because I'm always good at running my mouth. You know, I was a car salesman when I first got here because they don't have no trains and subways, and the car dealerships will give you a demo wherever you work. So hell, I worked at every car dealership known to man. I sold BMWs, I sold Chevys, I sold Fords, I sold Cadillacs, every car that probably everybody has on here, I sold. See, because my ulterior motive was I needed that car. I needed that demo. I needed to be able to drive. I totaled one of those demos in 1997. Oh, yeah. So here I go. I'm starting to get that thing now. A little bit at a time, just a little sprinkle, you know, like a salt shaker. I don't feel nothing. I don't know what's going on, but it's coming ever so slowly. And I'm a blackout drinker, right? So I totaled this in 1997. I know it was 1997 because that's when my son was born. This is way before my daughter even came. See, that's why I say I didn't know I was an alcoholic. Today I'm an acknowledged. I know I am, but I didn't know then because I swept that off like it was nothing. So I had to go to these meetings. I had to put these slips down, right, to get it signed. I would go into these meetings. I would put down the slip, and then I would go around this way and I would go out the back door, and then I would time myself. When I saw the people coming out, I knew the meeting was over. I would slip back in and get my slip. Didn't hear nothing, never knew anything about Alcoholics Anonymous, didn't know anything about nothing, and I didn't care. All I knew was I wanted the slip sign so I get the hell up out of there. That was my first invitation that I didn't even know what I was being invited to. What? So when I got that DWI, today is what? June 22nd, my uncle's birthday. Today, June 22nd of 2024. I still don't remember what happened that day in 1997. If you don't know what a blackout is when the tape stops completely. Sometimes you remember what happens, and sometimes God will bless you, and you will never remember. A lot of people in jail, about 80% of them have done some stuff in a total blackout. So back to the getting that thing. I started cheating on my husband, right? We lived in these apartments. I had Remy Martin up in the top floor. I had Hennessy over there. I had Cavassier over there. I had Grand Marnier because I'm only going top. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm drinking. I became my own entertainer. I drank at home. Right, Steph? I drank right there at home. I became this person. I loved alcohol. I had mirrors all around. I had a karaoke machine. I had a microphone. When I drank, I turned into LL Cool J's sidekick. I could party by myself. I never went out to bars. I've never walked in and sat down and asked for a drink because I'm not going to give you a tip. I'm not going to watch my drink. I'm not watching how much you pour. Is it enough? I'm not making sure that the top shelf is the top shelf, that you didn't pour water into it. I can entertain myself. Hell, I got 4 kids. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. It was Club Terry, right, Terry? Thierry. It was Club Terry 24/7. So I love drinking. I was De La Soul, me, myself, and I. I didn't need nobody. Nobody. And then something happened. And this thing punched me in my face. Here it is. And I still don't know what the heck is going on. So now alcohol has turned on me because now I'm no longer De La Soul because I can't leave home without it. I'm American Express now. Now I got to have it everywhere I go. Go to PTA meetings, going to the supermarket, hell, just going for a walk. Now it's got me. It's starting to choke me now, and I don't feel it. I don't feel it starting to choke me. But when I get up in the morning, I became that morning drinker. See, because now I had given all of those jobs that I had. I couldn't walk into a car dealership and sell nothing. I was giving them away. I was like freaking Nordstrom's or Lord and Taylor. I was giving it away, wrapping it up real nice, putting a nice bow on it. Take it. I don't want it. They took my license, right? I gave my license away. See, because, and when they said you in 6 months, I was like, keep it. I can get to where I want to go, put one foot in front of the other. That's what one of my uncles told me. You can get anywhere you want to go if you put one foot in front of the other. Now, I ain't going to tell you how long it's going to take you to get there. But if you put one foot in front of the other, baby girl, you can get anywhere you want. So keep my license because you know why? I know I'm a drink. So I would rather you have my license. That will keep me in my crazy mind, insane mind from driving. The only reason I wasn't driving because I ain't had no car. I would have drove. I would have damn sure drove with no license. What? Are you serious? So I became like the post office. Rain, snow, sleet, I hear. I'm getting what I got to get. And I'm straight up alcohol at this point. Don't get it twisted. I love cocaine too, but I couldn't afford it. I wasn't going to wait for it. I'm not looking behind me for the cops coming. I'm not making sure it's good. I'm not making sure it's stomped all over. I'm not making sure you gave me enough. Yo, I can walk into the liquor store, put my money down, give me my stuff, boom, walk out. I'm not looking for nothing before I can get out the store good. At the end, it was like crack. See, because I became this connoisseur drinker, I knew not to put the red wine in the refrigerator. I knew what kind of glass to use for my cognac. I had spicy salt and regular salt for margaritas. I had olives, I had lemons, I had limes, all beautiful types of glasses. And at the end, there was no ice, there was no glass, there was no chaser. It was straight up. Look. And I became that morning drinker, me and Matt Lauer. We were hanging out. I was so pissed when they busted him on the Today Show and they kicked him off because he was my drinker buddy. He ain't know it. Me and Matt Lauer, 7:00 in the morning. It became I became alcohol's biatch. I want you to understand where I was. Because if you're here and you have any oh, maybe I'm not an alcoholic. If you're sitting here right now in these Hollywood squares and you have any kind of inkling or feeling or can relate to anything, and it don't have to be alcohol, substitute it for whatever you got going on. you're in the right place. Couldn't turn it off, man. I couldn't turn it off if I had a wrench and tried to tighten it as tight as I could. I was alcohol's biatch, straight up. I could go from Baltimore to New York City in a total blackout and be knocking on my mother's door, and she'll open the door like, what are you doing here? Nobody could understand what is going on. My sister was like, what is wrong with you? What, can't you just stop? I'm like, stop what? You drink too much. Psh, what are you talking about? See, at this time, I had nothing going on. It was me and Queen Alcohol. Nothing going on. I didn't have no job, didn't care. I got a husband. I told you, been married 39 years. Damn. I got these kids. Yeah, that's why God gave me 4. So I thought all of my children have seen me drunk. All of my children has picked me up off the floor. All of my children has given me that look of disgust. Get her out of here. It got so bad that the police used to come to my door. See, because I called myself cooking. You know, I had all of these great intentions that I found out when I got a sponsor. I had all of these great intentions of doing the right thing. And it always ended up with the same result. The result was nil until we let go. Absolutely. I couldn't complete a freaking sentence, much less complete a full day without somebody wanting to just slap me. Alcohol is the great eraser. It erases families, homes, jobs, bank accounts, your health. And it will wait you out. If you think you're going to win, understand this. You ain't gonna win. No human power, no human power. Let's get to that part. No human power can help you with this. This is something out of your realm right here. You could go to all the rehabs and all the sober livings, but if you don't find what we call this higher power, and may you find him now. That's what they said. We stood at the turning point. Where's that? Where's the turning point? It's right where your feet are. We ask his protection and care, because you know you wasn't asking nobody to protect you. What? Because we all think we bad, especially when we get one in us. Can't nobody tell us nothing. You got to put all of that to the side. And yep, I'm going to be all over the place. I'm grateful today because it's hot as hell. And it wouldn't have stopped me from drinking. Yo, and all of that top shelf stuff. You know, I hear some people that say they still drink, you know, Cavassier and Chevrolet's all the way to the end. No, I was not rolling like that. I don't know why we always end up. I think we end up with the clear stuff because we think nobody can smell it. That you know, I don't know what it is about that vodka thing that we got going on that we always end up with that like $3.99 damn cent stuff that we just click it. That sound that. And before you even drink it, something happens where it's this relief when you get it in your hand and click that freaking bottle. And you think this is going to solve everything. Chasing the same thing, expecting different results. So everybody was done with me. Done. You hear me? Don't even put a thermometer in her to check the damn temperature. We are done. But God wasn't. God wasn't. And I didn't even know because I never even went to God. I never even thought about going to God. I never, in my wildest dreams, Number one, I didn't even know I was an alcoholic. So the story that I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to tell y'all the story. How much time do I have, Terry? Let's see if y'all going to get the long version or the short version.
You got 27 minutes. You got time.
I'm going to 27 minutes. Boom. All right. Y'all get the long version. Let's get it. So check this out, y'all. So I've been married all of these years, right? And the police used to come to my house because my husband used to put out these restraining orders. Get out, get her out, get her out. So now I understand. And it wasn't get her out, it's I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm walking into. I got to protect me and I got to protect these kids. And at the same time, whether you know it or not, I'm trying to save her. But he couldn't save me. He couldn't save me, right? Wreaking havoc in my household. Havoc. So I end up in court because I got to go to, I was always in court. You know, I was always in court. I'm in court. This time it's not for DWI because I got two, by the way. So if you never had a DWI, don't worry about it. I got two for you. If you never been locked up, don't worry about it. I've done that too. So I'm in court. I'm in court. And he wants me out the house. He wants me out the house, right? So remember, I'm a blackout drinker, but I'm talking a good game. See, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I'm talking a good game, right? So he pulls out a phone and he plays this recording on his phone. I don't know who taught him how to do that. I'm going to tell you right now. I have no idea because he can't even fucking change the damn toilet paper on the damn toilet roll. So who the hell taught him how to record me? So he recorded me, right? See, but I didn't know it was me. And he pressed that button in the courtroom and he played this tape and it was this lady and it was me. And I said, if you bring your ass home, I'm going to kill you. And it was me. And I knew I was done. And that's when God was right here. And he opened this ear. He opened this ear that I wasn't listening to nothing. And that lady that had on that black long gown, you know, that lady that sat up top with the gavel, she hit the gavel and she ordered me out the house for a year. Where the hell am I going to go? So she said I could go home and get this suitcase, right? If you got a problem with a higher power, I'm going to need you to get over that right now. So I went and I got this suitcase, right? So I'm walking down the street because I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm going on the same path that I would go to the liquor store. And this car pulls out behind me. It's a young police officer, right? A young police officer looking like Rob. So Rob comes up. Rob gets out the car, right? And he says, "Miss, are you okay?" And God says in this one ear that I just received back, tell him what's going on. So I told him my whole story. Now, in the suitcase, I have nothing. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have any money. I don't have an ID. I have absolutely nothing. The guy tells me to get in the car and he takes me to this place. It's called my sister's place. I didn't remember what it was. I used to share in my story that he took me to a place that I don't know. Today I know because God revealed it to me. More shall be revealed. My sister's place is a place in downtown Baltimore. It's a shelter. Miss Smart Ass New Yorker is sitting in a shelter, scared to death and don't know what to do. God says, remember, I got these 4 children, right? So my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she graduated from college, she booked, she left, she went to California. Why I remembered her cell phone number, I don't know why she picked up, ain't nothing but God. I called her from the shelter and she said to me this, "Ma, are you tired yet?" And I was done. I was so tired. I was tired. I had no oxygen left. And I told her yes. And she said, "Don't move. I'm going to call you back." And I said, how you going to call me back, baby girl? I'm sitting in the shelter. She said, Ma, please don't move. And I'm sitting there holding on to the only thing I have, that little black suitcase, not knowing that God was right there with me. I was sitting on God's lap and didn't even know it. So the phone rang about 2 hours later, and it was for me. And it was my child. And at the same time the phone was ringing, there was a lady behind me that was calling my name to give me a bed. And my daughter heard it, and she said, Ma, tell them to give the bed to somebody else. I need you to go to the airport. So God started opening this other ear, right? So God said, I'm going to need you to hang up the phone and listen and do what she says. So I hung up the phone. They gave me a little lunch bag and I went walking out. Listen, no money, no cell phone, no nothing. And a bus pulls up in front of me like it's the freaking Twilight Zone. And the door's open. And I walk on and I got tears coming down. And the bus driver looks at me like, oh my God, what do we have here? He gave me this pass. It's all day pass. I could ride all day. He told me how to get to the airport. I followed directions. I listened. I got to the airport. Guess what? There was a ticket there for me, Southwest Airlines. I didn't even look at the ticket to see where I was going. Took the ticket, I put it in my pocket, but I knew it wasn't leaving at that time. By this time, my hands are shaking. See, because I hadn't had a drink. Remember, I'm coming out of the courthouse. I found a TSA agent. I asked her to use his phone. I called my daughter and I said, I'm here. I made it. You know, I'm so proud of myself. I made it. TSA agent asked me if I was okay, and I said no. And he went in one pocket, put up his phone. He went in the other pocket. He gave me $20. I'm an alcoholic, y'all. Remember, I had that pass. I could ride the bus, the train all day long. I took that $20. I took that pass. I got back on the train. I went back to Baltimore City. I went to the liquor store. I got one for now. I got one for later. The shakes were unbearable. Had no idea I was going through withdrawal. Had no idea that once I took this drink, I didn't know that it would like calm me. I got that drink and then I got back and went back to the airport. I used to say that I went to sleep, but I passed out. I passed the heck out. And then God woke me up and said, baby girl, I'm going to need you to get up. And I went to get on the plane. I called my daughter again, found another TSA agent. If you got a problem with a higher power, I'm going to need you to get over that right now, Daniel B. Miss Paula, I went to the gate, right? I went to the gate with my ticket. And the girl said, Miss Lady, Miss Southwest Airline, ever so cute with her uniform on. She said, ID, please. And I ain't have no ID. And God said, ask for the supervisor. And I said, can I see your supervisor, please? Supervisor came out looking like Barney Rubble. You know, I'm not that tall. I'm not the tallest person in the world. So we looking at each other eye to eye. And God said, go in your bag and give him those court papers. And I went in there and I got those court papers and I gave him those court papers, hand shaking. And I gave it to him and he looked down and it was like Young and the Restless. Everything stopped. It was like, da-da, like, and I couldn't breathe. I was holding my breath. And I had no idea what was going on. If you got a problem with a higher power, I'm going to need you to get over that right now. Right? So he's looking at the papers, and I swear today that he was one of us because he took his glasses off and he looked out and he looked at me, and it felt like he was looking right through me, straight through me. And he looked down again and he looked at me, and I couldn't breathe. I swear. I don't even know why. I don't even know what was going on. I didn't know that God was saving me right now, right then, right now. And he looked at that young lady and he said, let her on the plane. What are you talking about? You got to damn near give blood to get on a plane today. You got to take your shoes off. I shouldn't have never got on that plane. I had nothing. When I say I had nothing, I say I had nothing, but God was right with me. I got sober without my permission. I came out of that court on September the 23rd of 2014. My sobriety date is September the 24th of 2014. I'll have 10 years in September. What the hell? I couldn't see my way out of 10 seconds. Are you kidding me? God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. I got on that plane. Got on that freaking plane, not even knowing what was going on, not knowing that he was saving me, not knowing that you people, I had a bunch of people that was going to love upon me until I could love myself. See, part of the program and an essential part of this program is to get a higher power. So check this out. Let me finish my journey story. So I get on a plane. Guess what, y'all? I'm going to Vegas. To Vegas. I didn't even know where I was going. I'm going to Vegas. A man got on a plane, handsome, and he said to me as they went up in the air, and they're explaining this, that, oxygen. And then they said, when the plane gets on flight, we will be serving drinks and alcoholic beverages. Ding, 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 ding. The man next to me, he said this, y'all. He said, Miss, do you mind if I drink? My head did this exorcist move. And I said, no. And I wanted to say, like, how polite of you, why do you ask? And he said, are you drinking? And I said, no, I don't have any money. And he said, it's on me. That was my last drink on Southwest Airlines. Remember, I went down, I was drinking that stuff that could light my ass on fire. So now I'm up in the plane, so I might as well go back up. I had the Hennessy lined up. I had the Cavassier lined up. Yo, it's on him, so let's do it. Not even knowing that this is going to be my last drink. And I must have ran my mouth to this man because when we got off, he said, thank you for celebrating my birthday with me. I got off the plane and I'm sitting there, not knowing what move do I make. They said my name over the intercom at the Vegas airport. If you have a problem with a higher power, get over it now. And I said, oh my God. And then they said, and I was like, nah, they didn't say my name. And then I was like, fool, you better hope they said your name because you are in Vegas. They said it again. They said, meet your party at the baggage claim. And I went running through that airport like OJ because somebody on the other end is waiting for me. And I got there and there was a man there looking like Terry. He had on a hat, baseball cap, and it said Desert Hope. He had on a golf shirt and it said Desert Hope. And when I got there and I was out of breath and he opened that door and he put his hand out and he said, Mrs. Davis, welcome to Desert Hope. It was hot as Imagine, Vegas. That's where they handed me that big book, right? That's when I learned that I have a disease. That's when I learned that I have an allergy. That's when I learned that it's the first one. That's when I learned that this is a spiritual condition. Once I find that spiritual condition, I can do anything. Because my sobriety is contingent upon the maintenance of my spiritual condition. So like a fine tooth comb, I got to sharpen it every day. Every day. So look, I'm this book smart girl. So I had 30 days in Vegas where I knew they would bring meetings in every night at 8:00. And I was like, I'm pissed. Number one, oh yeah, I didn't tell y'all I'm the oldest one there. Number two, you had all of these kids. Oh, this is my 7th time here. This is my 8th time here. And I'm like, look, I'm going to tell y'all now, I got to roll. Whatever y'all been doing over and over, I don't have time for that. And then God said, look, so because I had it all in my mind, but it wasn't in my heart. These young kids were bringing these meetings. These young freaking kids were bringing in these meetings and I wanted what they had. What? I wanted it. How do I get it? Because I could read about it, but I'm not feeling it. So I had this counselor. She said, Ms. Davis, you could go to sober living. Do you want to do that? See, what God did for me, he did what I couldn't do for myself. He picked me up from the East Coast. He took me to the West Coast so I could figure out who I was. I was lost. Alcohol, I gave alcohol everything. I was lost. So I took the suggestion. Texas, Florida, or LA. Remember, my daughter's in LA. I chose to go to LA. I get to LA. I'm at the top of the escalator at LAX. That daggone airport as big as you know what. And I spotted this child that I gave birth to. I spotted her at the bottom of the escalator. And she's standing there with this man. I'm like, who the hell is he? Well, he was the director of the sober living that I stayed at. I'm in Los Angeles. I got a home group in Los Angeles. Matter of fact, I have 2 home groups. How much time do I have, Terry? I have 2 home groups.
12 minutes.
Cool. So let's go on the journey up. All the way up. Here we go. I get to this house. So the guy that was standing with my daughter, right? I went to this place. It's called Sober. And it was started by these brothers. Those, what's those brothers? Baldwins. The Baldwin brothers. Alec Baldwin, those brothers in LA. And it's called Sober, SOBA. And it stands for Saving Our Brother's Ass. Boom, just like that. Simple as that. So look, they got me. I'm in Beverly Hills in this place. If anybody remembers that show Cribs, look, I thought I was being punked. I said, it's somebody, wait, somebody is punking me here because the door's open, and I walked in and it was the most beautiful place with the most beautiful kitchen. And I love cooking. And they had every kind of freaking utensil and gadget and Paula Dean, Rachel Ray, pots and pans, and they gave us $50 a week to go food shopping, right? And I love cooking. And I got a chance to do my thing, right? They would take us everywhere in these Suburbans. What is going on here? And I found this meeting, right? Because I drank with Matt Lauer at 7 a.m, I decided I'm going to find me an early morning meeting, right? And I found this meeting. It's called The Unurban. The Unurban is on Pico Drive in LA, and it's a coffee shop. So we go in the coffee shop. You got to go in the back. The walls are purple. They got purple walls. It's dark. They do open mic in there in the back of the coffee shop. And I slide in the back, and I sit in the corner like nobody could see me. And I sat there, right? And they're laughing. So this is me going into a meeting, because they would always bring the meeting. So I'm in there and I'm thinking that I'm invisible and nobody could see me, but they saw me. And they came to me. And they hugged up on me. And they said, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" And I said to myself, shit. Yeah, I guess. So I went back to the sober living, and I'm like, "Can y'all take me tomorrow too?" And they said, yeah. They had no idea I was going to be going every freaking morning. They were sick of me. Like, when is she going to stop? I'm not going to stop, because there's something that's happening in that room that I want at 7 o'clock in the morning. Matter of fact, can you get me there at 6:30? How about that? Because now I have this gift. I got this gift of desperation, right? And now I'm starting to listen. Now I got 2 ears now, and my eyes are wide open. And they're saying stuff, and they're doing stuff, and they're keeping still, and nobody's moving, but they're breathing. See, because when I came in, I didn't have no oxygen. I didn't have no oxygen. Now I got a tank next to me, right? And I'm putting it on every now and then, because I'm starting to breathe. I'm starting to breathe. I'm starting to hear. I'm starting to listen. I'm starting to love. I'm starting to love myself. I'm starting to take the suggestion. Then there's this little tiny lady. She looked like she's freaking 14 years old, and she wore purple all the time, and she had a cane like my mom. And God said to me, because I could hear God now, and God said, she's the one. So I tapped her one day. I tapped her on the shoulder, and I said, can you help me? Can you help me? Whatever this doing the steps is, can you help me? And she hugged me. And she said, what time do you get up in the morning? She said, call me. every day. I'm still calling her. So listen, so let me tell you, she walked me through the first 8 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I celebrated my first year in Los Angeles. I found this big book study that Dr. George Shin used to pick me up, and he used to take me to the hood, to the Never Too Early Big Book Club. I learned on layman's terms, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, how they started this program, how the terror, how the insanity, how they were just like me. I could see myself in the pages, you know. I could see myself in stories that were not like me, but felt like me. I was in. I need you to know that if you got a problem with a higher power, it is so essential to this program. And people say, you could borrow my higher power until you find your own. Check this out. You cannot borrow my higher power. I'm sorry, y'all. But you can borrow this heart that I have. This heart that I so eloquently and slowly, with your help, that God was able to put together piece by piece. I can give that away. I give that away 24/7. But my God, my higher power, I need them. It's too many of us. You know, I try to get up as early as I can because I need them to know. I'm like, yo, I'm up. Listen, if you got a problem praying, just talk. There's no set words on how to pray. If you want to ask a man, just say, God, look, it's me. You already know who I am. I just need to put you on blast. I just need you to know that I need you. I need you all day. I need you. When I'm sleeping, I need you. Even when I think that I am doing the best that I can, I need you. These 4 children that I have love the ground I walk on. See, because they see me come from the depths deep down. They can't understand how the hell. Shoot, sometimes I don't understand. How did you get here? How did I get my mom back? You know, my son, my oldest son, he had a destination wedding. It was the most beautiful fantasy island wedding. See, understand is you don't always get your families back, but you get yourself back. I was fortunate to get my family back, right? So when my children were little, and don't regret the past. Don't shut the door on it. Don't shut the door on the past, because as a mom, I did some good things. Because I listen to them now. I listen to the stories of how they remember cheeseburger night on Thursdays. We still have cheeseburger night. Look, it got a little more fancy, but we have a cheeseburger night. I set that up. So I used to play this. Lauryn Hill. And my son was little, and I used to sing this Zion song, and he was a little boy, and I used to say, Russell, because the joy of my world is in Russell, right? At his wedding, I totally forgot that I had to dance with my son. And he walked over to me ever so handsomely. And they started playing that Zion song. And he put his hand out to me. And he said, can I have this dance? Oh my God. I am a sober mom. If you're here, give yourself a chance. It is not the end of the game. If anything, if nothing else. Look, when I got sober, I had to get a birth certificate. I had to get my birth certificate. I had to get my driver's license. I had to get a social security card. I was born again. We don't get this chance in a normal life. We are the creme de la creme. We are miracles. We get this chance to be these beautiful freaking people that have the patience of Job. We get to be great employees. We get to be great parents. We get to be great neighbors. We get to be great people when we go out and about in the supermarket and we help people. Who would have thought that being nice to people and paying for the stuff at the bottom of the cart? Come on now. You know they got a bunch of self-checkouts. Who would have thought that taking 2 minutes to meditate and take time for yourself would push that alcohol aside? This is not a joke. This is a everyday. I'm gonna kick your ass alcohol. You cannot get me. Because it's out there. Alcohol sales went up 300%. During the pandemic. What? They started delivering to the door. I would have killed myself. I protect my sobriety at all costs. I'm all in. I give what was so freely given to me. So I left LA on the 8th, on step 8, because I didn't owe anybody any amends. Girl, take your behind back to the East Coast and do what you do. And by the way, you need to get another sponsor when you get there. So I have a sponsor here in Baltimore. Miss B just celebrated 43 years. And I asked her in the same way, can you help me? And she took me to Denny's, right, y'all? She took me to Denny's. She took me to Denny's after the meeting, Stephanie, after the captain's table meeting. And she took me to Denny's and she sat there and I had this woman in tears because just like I just told my story, I told her my story. And she said, oh my God, thank you for asking me to be your sponsor. So I have a sponsor on the West Coast. I have a sponsor on the East Coast. And guess what, y'all? I got a male sponsor too. See, because there was this man who always talked about his wife, right? In the meetings, he'd been married 40-something years, and he talked about his wife, no matter what she did. It was like she never pissed him off. And I said, I want what he's got. So Bruce is my sponsor. And he tells me, girl, I need you to just keep still, you know. You don't always have to respond. We learned that, how to shut up. It's a powerful program. I don't care if you CA, I don't care if you NA, I don't care if you AA, I don't care if you OA, I don't care if you GA. That I'm going down the list. I'm trying to see, did I forget an A? Because we got you covered here. We are in the business of saving lives. This is what we do. Zoom. It says it in the big book about the technology. It's going to be a day. What? These guys that wrote this book had it all because they were trying to figure out how we going to tell the people. I learned this in my big book study class a couple of weeks ago. How we going to tell these people what we know? And they said, hey, check this out, y'all. Let's write a book. And here we are 89 years later with said book that we go by. It saves lives. It's in different languages. I learned all over the world. They might speak a different language, but the feeling is all the same. I've been on meetings where, like, especially the Scottish John from the UK, sometimes I couldn't understand him, but I could feel it. Right through the freaking screen. I said, Terry, what are you talking about? We could talk through the screen. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. I love what God has given me. I love God, what God has taken away. I love what he's left. There's nothing I can't do. Nothing. I don't want to run for president, but that's a whole nother story. But if you're here, you find this higher power, and believe me, it's going to fall in place. It's going to ever so gently, you're not even going to know it. You become this person that you're going to love so much. And then you're going to want other people to feel and to get and to live like you're living. Alcoholics Anonymous has given my parents, both of my parents are still living, giving my parents their daughter back. My grandmother lived to be 100 years old, and she saw me sober. Has given my children their mother back. Has given my sisters their sister. Yeah, this is good stuff. My name is Terry, and I'm an alcoholic. Thank you ever so much for letting me be a part of your hot Saturday afternoon.
Thank you so much, T. First, get the